a big hello and welcome to my show Unbound.
कहते हैं जिंदगी में अच्छा टाइम पलक झपकते ही निकल जाता है. And this is just so true of our last 1 year journey of Unbound with Mamtaa with you. As we celebrate our first anniversary, I would like to say a big and heartfelt thank you to each one of you. Today we are a 3,000 plus community, and I am sure that with your support and love, we will continue to grow millions more. So keep listening and keep sending you good vibes, and let's unbound together.
Young, inspiring, and an absolute path breaker, he's a dreamer who has dared to achieve it. Starting his entrepreneurial journey at the age of 8, he sold his paintings and earned 9,000 rupees back then. And today, he's the co-founder of India's most promising online marketplace for teachers and learners, Online Live Learning OLL, which focuses on skill development courses so that we are prepared for the needs of tomorrow. Audacious in his asks from life, he has literally taken the country by storm, demonstrating his business acumen on the nation's favorite business reality TV show Shark Tank India recently. With a passion to revolutionize and create a community for the education sector, his company today clocks in a growth of over 50% year on year. And I am totally awed today to have this prodigy on the show. He is Shreyaan Daga. Hi Shreyaan, welcome to my show Unbound.
Hello, hi Mamtaa.
It's such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And if I may say, you are our second youngest guest on the show, actually.
Oh, wow.
Earlier also, we've had a she entrepreneur from India, and now she's settled abroad. Mamtaa. She was almost 17 when she came to the show, and now here you are. So it's really inspiring. What you're doing, Shreyaan, is actually, making us believe in the India and the world of tomorrow. Tell us about your journey. Of course, we have seen, we have read, we have heard, but tell us the code to your success and what is the mantra that has actually made you reach here.
So actually, the true story behind all of this is that when 15th February 2020, when I was 15 years old, I was very inspired by Gautam Buddha. So I took all my belongings and I left home. And on the way, I started donating my wallet, slipper, watch. And when I was giving my cycle to this boy who was underprivileged, he took the cycle and he said these exact words, "Bhaiya, mera sapna pura ho gaya." Okay. So that's when I realized that we kids have a lot of potential, but not enough exposure and opportunities given early on, right? And that's when I made it my life's purpose कि मुझे 1 billion बच्चों को ड्रीम बेक करवाना है, उनकी क्षमता इंक्रीज करनी है to achieve those dreams, right? So that's basically my life's purpose now.
Wow. And to have found it this early, I must say it's a big thing. Tell me a little bit about your past or maybe your studentship. Like, how were you as a student and what were your dreams just as a very normal child when you were growing up? You had ever thought that you will set yourself to do something so big?
Honestly, I was like a backbencher in school, never paying attention to what the teacher was telling. That was after 8th grade. Before that, I was a goody average student. But after the 8th grade, I was a backbencher and I was having fun in my school life. But ever since the start, I always had this passion to do something big, dream. I never wanted to live the average. I didn't want to get C in my grades. Either I'd get F or I'd get A, right? I never wanted to get C. I didn't want to live the average life. That was one thing that I keep on remembering, right? So I grew up with my grandparents and for 15 years of my life because my parents were working. So out there, I was brought up with a very different culture. It was thought that, whatever is given to you, you can only have that. You can't have anything apart from that. Follow the rules and etc. Right? But I wanted the fancy clothes and the fancy shoes and the fancy phone which my friends had, the fancy food that they had. Right? But my grandparents were like typical middle class family grandparents. baal mein tel laga ke they used to send me. And yeah, so that's why then I decided ki, I got to do something of my own, right?
I think that's where this, if I may call, this is because it's a revolutionary idea, So you kind of repent from it, and it got triggered that okay, I got to live a more grandeur and a bigger life than this.
Correct.
Very interesting. So tell us about, actually, now listening to your story, I'm not sure whether I can, but we actually perceived, looking at all the media reports, your earlier interviews, that maybe you were lucky in a way, or were you not? How do you view your life as?
I do view myself as lucky. I mean, but honestly, luck is something that's not predefined, something that's created by doing good deeds and good karma. It gets created on its own. So for me, like, to be found 15 kilometers away from my house by the police and walking barefoot and then be brought back home was a very lucky thing. Otherwise, I'd have been dead or on the road somewhere today, right? So that's one of the biggest things I feel very fortunate for. And obviously, being born in a household where your parents support you is a really big advantage as well. So yeah.
So what is your biggest strength, Shreyaan? If I were to ask you, what is that you call your talent and the way that you look at yourself, that, okay, this is my strength?
So for me, my strength is that I'm a student, I'm a learner, right? And I love to learn. That's my strength. And the fact that I realize that there are many more kids who really just want to learn for the love of learning, not for a mark or parents forcing them or something like that. They just want to learn, right? So that's my passion, that's my hobby. I just love to learn. That's basically my biggest strength.
So tell me, in this pursuit of learning, what all have you learned? I mean, if I were to just ask you, are there skills? Are there creative pursuits? What is that keeps you going?
Okay, so I've learned almost 17 coding languages. I have learned art, design, UX UI design, graphic design, pick up any kind of craft, mandala art. I have learned a lot of sports. Literally every sport you can think of: squash, cricket, basketball, tennis, badminton, etc. And I mean, who hasn't learned these things, right? But also learned surfing, skiing, and anything that I've always come across, I've learned, right? That's the fun part. So yeah.
So you are a student of life indeed.
Correct.
Great. Okay, so tell us, what is your biggest weakness in that case? If learning is what keeps you going, are there things that stop you? Are there things where you see yourself really torn or fallen apart?
Me personally, I am not as good as in discipline. I mean, I am more of a creative person and an ideator, whereas my co-founder, she's very, very disciplined and she's like an army officer, right? You have to listen to what she says, and she's very clear and thought that today I'm going to do this, etc. And she gets up every day, assigns the tasks and all that. Whereas I am more of, passionate and creative and full of energy at some points and with low of zero energy at some points. So yeah, I need to learn how to be disciplined.
Yeah, you better learn that fast. So tell us about your challenges or your fears. Certain things where you really are against a wall at times, and how have you really learned an art of conquering them on the way as you're growing?
So my deepest fear is that when I reach rock bottom, and I know I will, and everyone does at one point, that I won't be able to get up. That's my deepest fear, right? And I keep on thinking about that, and honestly, challenges come every day. They go every day. New ones come every day. New ones go every day. For us, certain points of delivery challenges, right? Giving great quality classes, at sometimes it's very difficult for live classes to be 100% good quality every time. So I decided that, I want to solve this problem, solve this challenge. So I stopped eating for 37 days to solve this challenge. I was like, until I get this solved, I won't eat a morsel of food.
So you are a monk at heart somewhere. Somewhere there is that sannyasi in you who can actually at any time really can take over.
Yeah, you can say, but once I found a purpose in life, now I just want to achieve that, right? Until I get over, like I reach that 100 crore learner mark, I won't leave it, right? So I am pretty clear on that.
Super. More power to you on that one. All right. So tell us now then, what is your FOMO? I mean, are there fears of missing out certain things because you're young and age is by your side, but also time is ticking. So do you at times feel that you're so consumed with this whole idea of doing what you're doing, the path and journey that you've chosen, that you really are missing out on life?
Honestly, I love what I'm doing, so no. But definitely FOMO is very common amongst everyone. Like even I have the FOMO, sometimes missing parties with my friend, not going for my school graduation, people giving board exams. Even as a FOMO for me, I'm not giving an exam. But yeah, FOMOs are there and they will be continued. But
how do you conquer it? How do you go past it? What is that? How do you talk to yourself on that?
So I had decided very early on that, when I was about to drop out, I made a pros and cons list, right? What is more important? Is it me getting a college degree? Is it me having fun with my friends? Or is it that 1 billion learners who could actually get a good quality education, right? And I chose those 1 billion learners getting a better education than my college degree and fun. And now it's more about them than me.
Wow. This is truly, truly inspiring. And we really wish that it's not only today, but with every passing day, your passion and your daring to do it is even more than dreaming to do it. So that brings me to my next question. Then what is your JOMO then in that case? I mean, where do you really feel that, oh, good riddance, I missed out on this one. Joy of missing out.
Okay, I learned that word for the first time. But yeah, honestly, when my friends say that, firstly, the gossips that come up, this girlfriend, that boyfriend, this, that, which I feel good about, I'm not part of. Second is the marks that the university admissions and the college admissions, those are pretty much very, to me, pointless for now. So it's good I missed out on those. But yeah, it's a lot of fun it's not joy, but I feel like a little bit sadness that students don't have a sense of purpose. That we kids, we should have a dream bigger than just getting an admission in a college or getting a job in some company. Right? We should dream bigger than that. That's what I feel. So yeah, I feel a joy about that, having a big dream.
Beautiful. Well said.
At Unbound, we believe in the power of unhinged minds and untamed ideas of people from all walks of life. As we sit down to talk with some of them, we are listening to your voice as well. So share your thoughts, ideas, or takeaways from this podcast as a review on Apple Podcasts, or just drop us a message on Instagram @Unbound with Mamtaa, UNBOUNDWITHMAMTAA. You can also mail us at Unbound with Mamtaa, UNBOUNDWITHMAMTAA@gmail.com. And remember to subscribe and follow this podcast and stay connected with us.
What about the social views and talkbacks? Now, see, there are ways to look at the same decision. Even though you're on the right path, even though you're on a bigger plan in life, but there are people and there's criticism and there's a talkback. When you beat a conventional route, when you go an offbeat road on an offbeaten track, people don't take it very well initially. I mean, no matter how passionate you are. So how have you taken that? Has it come your way, firstly?
Yeah, absolutely. Haters are going to hate at points. But कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, छोड़ो बेकार की बातें, कहीं बीत ना जाए रहना. So Sanju is a good inspirational movie for me. follow these things. And honestly, it doesn't really come across so much today right now to me to reply to these people, or I just rather ignore it and go forward, because I know I am clear. I believe in myself. I believe in my vision, my product. So it's good I get criticism. I like criticism. It's good feedback. In fact, I like to maybe if I ever got their phone number, I would talk to them and get some more bad feedback. Feedback from them. So I realize where all I can improve. But in terms of it affecting my personal roadmap, never happening.
Okay. No, I actually meant it from the point of view of judgment. And judgment, not that now that you are doing something which is awesome and you're getting all the fame and all the credit for it, but judgment from the point when you've decided to quit your further education, to be on this path where nobody was looking that, or they must have come कि इसमें क्या future है, क्या जल्दी है, पहले पढ़ाई तो पूरी करो and all of that, those things.
Yeah, so actually in the first year only, when I was in the 10th grade, that time itself, we achieved a revenue of 1.34 crores in the first year. And that time I was in the 10th grade. I didn't even drop out till that time. So when I did drop out, I had a report card to show to my parents and to also show to the relatives and friends who were talking about it, that, this is what I have right now. So that helped. But yeah, people always, even today, they say, a degree will still be helpful and this, that. But yeah.
So it's like either आप मेरी report card देख लो या मेरी balance sheet देख लो.
Correct.
Very interesting. All right. So what about biases? Are there things that you are biased towards in life?
I'm biased towards action. And even though someone has a really good idea, I try to say कि पहले try करो फिर वापस आना, पहले कुछ achieve करो फिर वापस आना. बात तो सब करते हैं, right? I don't like to talk to a lot of people. Like, I don't like to talk a lot, even though I'm talking on this podcast, which is very hypocritical and ironic. But in real life, I listen more. And when I listen, I'm like, show me what you've done more than explain it to me, right?
So is this podcast out of the choice because Ronnie Screwvala told you that you need to be seen more?
No. Ronnie didn't tell me to be seen more. He told me just to create a good word of mouth of existing customers. So that was a very, very impactful point. It stuck with me. And in terms of podcasts, why I started doing podcasts is because of I saw one video of Nikhil Kamath where he said every day he spends 1 hour with the press and the media, and right. So even my routines for this time being has become like a daily 1 hour I do spend with Instagram, LinkedIn, even podcasts and media, just to spread awareness through organic means.
Superb. And we are lucky to have got you here. Thank you so much. What about books that you're currently reading? Are you a reader?
I can't read. I don't know why. Whenever I start reading a book, I fall asleep. But I do listen to audiobooks and podcasts. And in terms of audiobooks, I have the top 3 which I'll always listen to. Siddhartha, the Almanac of Nawal Ravikant, and also Sapiens, right? So these 3 is something I would recommend. And currently, I am not listening to any of them post Shark Tank or any new audio book since Shark Tank's hit. But I will start again. So yeah, waiting for that to happen.
Great. So what inspires you? Are there movies, interaction, people? What is that also becomes your source of inspiration or at times action? Like maybe you are sitting on some idea and then there is a conversation that comes through and some cue gets picked in and then you say, oh, this is the time to act. Are there such moments? Are there such things, people that play that role in your life?
Honestly, there are these moments where, we watch a movie and it's very inspiring, like 3 Idiots or something like that. And you're like, okay, you know what, I need to do something. If you watch Bhag Milka Bhag, you'll be like, okay, I need to exercise now. So definitely there are these moments where everyone gets inspired by something and does action. but it's about sustaining that action, retaining it, redoing it again and again every day. So gives a one-time josh and a one-time bowl. But yeah, I do get those through movies, people everywhere, like insights, small insights.
All right. So, what is your vision for India of 2040, Shreyaan?
I don't know about India. I know my vision. I'm pretty clear that I want a billion daily active learners. So India, definitely around 80% of my learners will be from tier 2, tier 3 cities of India. And I want to reach those people who aren't upskilled yet, who aren't aware about upskilling, who aren't, who are just stuck with maths and science till date, and they still don't know that as well properly. I want to reach those people. I want to help out those people who can't afford 200 rupees per hour class. I want to help out those people.
Is this pain point also coming from some of your own struggles, if I may ask? I mean, has there been a time in life where you felt that, okay, I may not be good at this, but I am a naturally curious person who wants to know this, but I don't have the avenues, I don't have the resources, I don't have the reach out? Has that inquiry led to OLN? Like, how did the whole idea come into being?
It's always like idea comes through a lot of sources. One of the sources was, me leaving home and finding that boy. Another source is always that I was curious to learn since the start. I've taken my learning experiences apart from school as well. But in my school, I never enjoyed learning the subjects that the teachers were teaching. Right? And no one did. Almost like if I asked you today, what were your marks in the 7th grade? Do you remember?
Not at all. And it doesn't even matter because whatever it was and wherever I am today is completely falls apart.
Exactly. And today, if you could go back and do something that you regret not doing in the 7th grade, or learn something that you wish you had learned, what would that be?
See, a lot of creative pursuits, but I would say that was primarily due to two reasons. One was not enough resources, and secondly, of course, there was no such reach. So let's say if you wanted to really learn swimming, then there were only so many options, and knowing that your parents are working, nobody's there to physically take you from point A to point B, all those challenges, logistics and the resource part. So, of course, I would, because these are the same things that our children are doing today at such a young age. Like both my children, who is like 7 and 10, we are doing so many things which I on my own money started doing at the age of 25 maybe.
Exactly. So, to be honest, no one remembers the marks, but everyone remembers the regret of not following a dream or an interest that they had in that age, right? So, I didn't want that regret. Right? I don't want that regret to be there in any child.
Do you have personal regrets like that?
Not as of now. I mean, I do want to learn new skills and I'm going to learn it, but I don't regret not learning them at that age.
How do you separate education from learning?
Okay. So, see, today, in terms of learning, right? Learning is a process which is curious. There's two emotions involved, which is passion, curiosity, which is one, and the other is the frustration of not being able to learn. And these two emotions play a really big role. So the teacher's job is just to create more and more curiosity and retain that curiosity and reduce the frustrations, right? And today, that if that's done in learning, then that's actually true learning, right? But in terms of education and education system, how we're taught is the teacher just gives us everything, right? And they explain it to us, they detail it to us, which not only kills out the curiosity, but also cuts out a little bit of the frustration that's not supposed to be cut out. Like, there should be a very good balance. If there's no frustration, also the child will get bored, right? So there should be a really good balance, and that's very difficult to achieve if you're not a really good teacher. So at the end of the job, the teacher's job is just to manage this frustration and the curiosity together, right? Just give a perfect amount of both. So that is something that we don't focus on. We focus on curriculum sikhana, syllabus sikhana, marks lana, results lana. right? So education and learning with these two are the difference.
This is an interesting point and a very interesting perspective indeed. Tell us about one big learning that COVID has personally been for you.
It's a good question. I've never answered that before. For me, COVID has taught me that maybe you never waste time, right? Today, if I could go back in COVID, I would have done way more than what I had already done in COVID. So don't waste time. Get to work. If you feel you have some free time, value that free time and go ahead and do some work in that time.
Super. I think that's really an intelligent answer too. But tell us, what does this year hold for you, hold for OLN?
For me, this year we're trying to reach, by the end of this year, 1 lakh daily active learners. So 1 lakh.
Wow. We would like to give you an ovation on that. Awesome.
Yeah.
And for you personally, are there any benchmarks, goals, anything that you've set yourself?
My vision is my company's vision. So yeah, for me, it's the same milestone.
Super. With that, we are almost heading to the tail end of the show, but we have very quick fireside questions. I call this as a rapid reflex round. And you just need to answer it in maybe a word, at max 2 words. Yeah? So are you ready for this, Shreyaan?
Yeah.
All right. So take a deep breath and let's get started. One thing you wish parents never said to their children.
You're not adequate enough.
One thing you wish never existed in the world.
Nothing.
Okay. One thing you wish which could exist forever.
Problems.
So you can solve them.
Right.
That's an entrepreneur speaking, truly. Learning to you is?
Love.
Entrepreneurship to you is?
A journey.
Success to you is?
Impact.
And fame to you is?
Nothing.
All right. And what about love? You already said learning to you is, but what about love to you is?
Learning.
Interesting. Your purpose is?
1 billion daily active learners are available.
Wow, you have really plugged your mission statement again. One thing you would like to unlearn in this lifetime?
Unlearn. Nothing.
All right. Well, you have truly come unbound. And on the parting note, Shreyaan, I would like to just say that may your path to learning never exhaust your mind or spirit, and you dare to be even bigger than what you can dream. Thanks for inspiring us, sharing your journey, purpose, vision with us, and thanks for being on Unbound. Shreyaan, thank you so much for taking out this time.
Thank you, Mamtaa. Thank you for calling me.
Dear listeners, we at Unbound want to take a moment to say thank you for your incredible support over the past year. As we celebrate the first anniversary of our podcast, we are very grateful for your support and sharing your time with us. ऐसे ही हमें अपना प्यार देते रहिए और अपने आइडियाज और फीडबैक के लिए write to us at unboundwithmamtaa@gmail.com. That is unboundwithmamtaa, MAMTAA@gmail.com. You can also follow, share, and like us on our Instagram page @unboundwithmamtaa. Once again, thank you, and let's keep unbounding together.